Mistakes that physicians make, we see them all the time. Hey everybody, it's John with Contract Diagnostics, and Jennifer and I just got off the phone for an inquiry on the new group and negotiation division. And I don't know if I don't think it'll be a good fit for this particular physician, to be honest. We may work with him on an individual basis, I'm unsure. But this physician has been listening to podcasts with us for years and years, and he was appreciative of all the information that we're putting out there. So hopefully people are taking value from this. And again, we always value your feedback and any questions you have. So send your questions in and we'll answer them as we're able. But this physician he's been out of training for 3 years now. He's on his fourth year. He's been out for 3 full years. And his initial contract, he didn't have anybody look at it, but he said he misunderstood how it was structured. But he explained it as best he could to us. He said he was a 2-year guaranteed salary. It was a 3-year contract, but a 2-year guaranteed salary. Then at the end of the 2 years, he went on to a production model. Now, he thought it was based on his last 3 months, so it would be a good month, but instead it was based on his last 2 years of production. He said because of that little mishap on how his 3rd-year draw was going to be set up, not a guarantee, he said he lost about $70,000, he felt, in his 3rd year. And it was because he didn't understand the contract, and again, he was kind enough. It was a small town in the South, a very kind physician. He said, I'm sure it was a misunderstanding between me and the person at the account who explained it to me. But he lost $30,000 or $70,000 in his next year. His production tended to come up. Now this year, they have changed everything around again. So they're using old 2020 CMS codes. They're looking at removing the old model and putting him on a brand new model, but they're going to increase his RVU conversion factor based on different factors and everything else. So they're changing the way that they're going to do the draw. They're changing the quality bonus. They're changing the conversion factor. They're changing the CMS codes that they're using for his capture rate. But he said in the whole process, they have a horrible electronic health record system. So he said he's in the office every night until 8 o'clock, making sure the records are done and appropriate. He said when he was in training, he had a better system, and he said he was done every night by 5 and able to go home. And it's inefficient. So the time he's putting into the job to earn the money is well in excess of what he would like it to be. He also said that they've had some issues with this system that they've had, and they're using I'm not a physician, nor do I use electronic health records, so I may get this wrong, but he said they're using an inpatient coding system for his outpatient work as a family medicine physician. And he said because of that, he loses some reimbursement codes for smoking cessation, and I think some podiatry measures is what he was talking about. So that costs him because he doesn't capture those things. And he said he just found out last year that all of that hadn't been captured, and he doesn't know if they're going to be able to go and backdate it and catch it up, or if it's just going to be a loss leader for him, and the group apologizes but says, sorry, we'll try to do better with this crappy system that we have. So he wants them to invest in a new system. They've been talking about it for a long time, but they don't have any money. And we've looked at the account online, and we've looked at their credit rating, and they're in a shaky position. So we don't know if they'll be able to increase the compensation of everybody in the group significantly. I think he has some wiggle room because he's looked at as kind of the leader. He's a hometown boy, and they really, really like him. So he may be able to get a little bit of a sweeter deal, but I don't think they're going to come to the table with the entire group and be able to increase compensation by $50,000 or $60,000 for every physician. I just don't think it's possible. So what is he to do? Well, having a reasonable and successful conversation with the employer is where he should start. Making sure that he's airing his concerns, making sure that they know the frustrations, that he's in the office until 8 o'clock. They may not even know. In fact, the gentleman that he was talking with about his contract said he thought he was an internist until last week when they discussed everything. So I think having good, open, and honest dialogue with the organization is important. Let them know your frustrations around their health system, their electronic health records, and what you could do, what you could offer to help solve some of the problem. Is there a training that you could do? Is there a staff training or a leadership opportunity that you would have in that? Maybe they can invest a ton of money in a brand new system. So what can we do to kind of fill the gap in between? I think there's ways that you can work with administration collectively to do those things. We can obviously make sure that you're getting compensated for your time. Maybe if you're in the office until 8 o'clock, we see if they can lower the schedule a little bit, but that has the impact of potentially hitting your production. So maybe we ask for a administrative stipend. We ask for pay for administrative time because it's not your fault that the system that they have is antiquated. And maybe it's cheaper to pay the physicians a couple of thousands of dollars more than replace an entire system to the tune of millions or tens of millions of dollars, as it may be, for a new layover electronic health system. I think we can talk about how the prior coding mistakes, what we could do to remedy that. Maybe there's a retention bonus. Maybe they backdate his next contract and they schedule all those RVUs to come through based on a calculation that's been audited by the physician. How do we ensure that it won't happen again? Maybe there's an audit that's set up every other month that they can go through and make sure that these things like smoking cessation counseling and podiatry, if that's the case, are captured. We can obviously discuss other things like additional training through CME. We can talk about hiring additional staff. We can talk about how it's different for you than your colleagues. We can talk about competing offers. He said the VA is offering a great package. There's another hospital he thinks he could earn $150,000 more by going there. But he doesn't want to. He wants to stay in this great town. He wants to continue serving the community. He just wants to make sure that he's paid fairly. And he said, I don't need to make a lot of money. I'm a pretty simple guy. And I always said, like I always say, it's not about making a lot of money. It's about being paid fairly. So every physician gets paid a lot of money. Whether it's fair or not is one of those things that's to be discussed. So what did we learn from this physician? Well, we learned that there's still systems out there that have antiquated models. We learned that things aren't being captured from a physician's production. We learned that physicians still don't understand their initial contracts. And this is a really important thing jumping into any job, even if you're going home to work in the town that you grew up in years and years ago. It's important to understand the risks and the benefits of a contract, whether you are interested in making an awful lot of money or whether you're just interested in having a good quality of life in the town that you grew up in. It's important to understand all the nuances to your agreement because the person who's there that explained it to you, correctly or incorrectly, may not be there in 2 years or 3 years when you're off of your guarantee. They may not be there in 5 years when there's an issue or a problem. They may not be there when all of a sudden you realize that the health system's electronic health records is antiquated and it needs to be updated, and because it's antiquated, it's costing you dollars. So, we learned a lot from this call. We love learning from the physicians, and we love teaching as well. So if we can help you with anything contract related, reach out and give us a call. If you've got a situation like this, physicians, let us know. We'll provide any information that we can so you can fix it on your own. And if you need our help, of course, that's what we're here for every day. You can sign up for a free call on contractdiagnostics.com or shoot me an email. It's John at Contract Diagnostics. It's Jon, because I'm a Jonathan, spelled of course with an A-N. So this was another great time chatting with you all, and we hope to connect with you live soon.